Long ago, beneath the surface of the ocean, there existed a city unlike any other. Its waters shimmered beneath a pale sun, waves gently brushing against secrets hidden below. As the camera descends into the depths, we see the ruins of a forgotten civilization, coral-covered and cloaked in shadow. Slowly, the silhouette of Atlantis emerges from the darkness, its towering spires glowing with an ethereal blue light. Schools of fish dart through crumbling archways, their movement a living reminder of an age that has long passed. The whispers of history echo through the stillness, leaving us yearning for answers. And just as quickly, a flash of light cuts through the darkness, suggesting that the story of Atlantis is far from over. In its prime, Atlantis was a city of unparalleled beauty. Golden spires glistened under the radiant sun, towering above streets filled with life. People dressed in ornate robes walked the busy roads, each individual a testament to the culture's flourishing success. In the heart of the city, a craftsman chisels a statue of a deity, his face filled with reverence. The canals of Atlantis glistened with crystal-clear water, winding through the city like veins of life itself. From the serene ocean to the grand skyline, the city's design seemed to blend perfectly with nature. And in a quiet corner, a child watches in awe as a bird takes flight, capturing the innocence and wonder of a paradise untouched by time. At the heart of Atlantis stood a temple dedicated to the gods, adorned with celestial symbols and filled with devoted worshippers. Priests, robed in flowing garments, carried glowing crystals, their chants resonating with the divine energy that pulsed through the city. As night fell, the sky above swirled with stars, and we find an astrologer mapping the constellations with deep concentration. A sacrificial flame flickers, casting long shadows across intricate carvings that tell stories of the gods. The balance of humility and pride plays out in the solemn faces of the priests, each one aware of their place in the grand scheme of things. And in a rare moment of quiet, the fragility of their connection to the divine becomes clear, reminding us of how small they truly are in the face of eternity. The marketplace of Atlantis was always alive with activity. Traders shouted to sell their goods, their vibrant wares displayed proudly for all to see. An artisan pauses in his work, admiring the statue he's just carved, while scholars debate passionately in a marble courtyard, scrolls and diagrams scattered around them. Children race through the streets, their laughter ringing in the air as they dodge merchants and carts. From above, the city reveals its grandeur, symmetrical, beautiful, and full of life. As the sun sets, the golden light reflects off the pristine architecture, casting a warm glow over the city, a city on the brink of something greater, or perhaps something darker. King Atlas stood high above the city, gazing out over his kingdom. The weight of responsibility was clear on his face. Below, a grand parade marched through the streets, celebrating the kingdom's many triumphs. Inventors proudly demonstrated their new devices, their faces alight with hope and ambition for the future. But in the council chambers, discussions grew tense, reflecting the growing hubris of the kingdom. Atlas studied a glowing map, contemplating the future of his realm. In a fleeting moment, doubt flickered in his eyes, as if he could sense the cost of greatness, the price that must be paid for unchecked power. The Grand Library of Atlantis was a place of endless knowledge, where scholars and scientists gathered to explore the mysteries of the universe. Scrolls filled the shelves, and strange devices hummed with energy. A scholar carefully adjusts a glowing crystal, releasing a surge of power that lights up the room. An apprentice stands nearby, watching in awe as a holographic projection flickers to life. But not all was perfect. Heated debates filled the air, as scientists questioned the risks of their experiments. And in a dimly lit corner, a historian transcribes an ancient prophecy, its ominous words casting a shadow over the present. Hidden away in a vault, there were secrets, secrets that, if uncovered, could change everything. Then, one day, the earth trembled. The streets of Atlantis cracked open as if the city itself was trying to escape its own fate. The sky turned an ominous shade of red, and lightning streaked across the heavens. Waves began to crash against the city's walls, and a family huddled together in fear, the ground shaking beneath their feet. Priests rushed to the temples, their faces a mixture of fear and resolve, while in the heart of the city, a glowing artifact flickered, its power waning as the chaos unfolded around it. A council member shouted warnings, but his voice was drowned out by the mounting storm that threatened to tear everything apart. The streets of Atlantis were filled with chaos. People fled in all directions, trying desperately to escape the oncoming disaster. A mother shielded her child as debris rained down around them. Soldiers struggled to maintain order, their voices barely heard over the roar of the waves. The mighty walls of Atlantis, once thought indestructible, began to crumble, their collapse echoing through the city. Amid the destruction, a young inventor clutched his unfinished device, a desperate plea written across his face. The sea surged forward with unstoppable force, consuming everything in its path, leaving nothing but ruin in its wake. Inside the council chamber, heated arguments erupted. Fear and anger gripped the faces of the leaders as they tried to make sense of the madness outside. One advisor knelt, praying for mercy from the gods, while a leader, defiant, called for action. The king stared into a reflection of himself, the weight of his decisions bearing down on him. And as a tremor shook the chamber, the silence that followed spoke louder than words. It was clear, the inevitable had arrived, and there would be no turning back. The ocean rose higher and higher, swallowing the outer districts of Atlantis in an instant. Towers, once majestic, crumbled into the sea, their grandeur erased in moments. On a balcony, a lone figure stood, watching as the city he had built was devoured by the water. The golden streets of Atlantis darkened as the waves claimed them. From above, the once great city disappeared beneath a relentless tide, and all that remained was a haunting silence, the kind that only the ocean can bring. Beneath the ocean, the ruins of Atlantis still glimmer faintly in the darkness. Broken statues, shattered spires, and archways that once held great importance now lie in eerie stillness. A school of fish swims through the skeletal remains of a city, a silent echo of a lost age. In the murky depths, one artifact remains untouched, glowing faintly as if holding on to the last bit of its power. And for a brief moment, a shadow passes across the ruins, hinting that something still lingers in the water, something that once belonged to Atlantis. And then, as the camera pulls back, the screen fades to black, leaving only the sound of the ocean's eternal rhythm. Today, explorers dive into the depths of the ocean, their light searching for signs of the lost city. With advanced technology, they scan the seabed, hoping to find the remnants of Atlantis. Historians and archaeologists piece together the fragments of its story, debating what is myth and what is reality. A map overlays the screen, tracing the paths of ancient legends and potential locations in the Atlantic. And as we stare out at the vast expanse of the ocean, we are left to ponder, what secrets still lie beneath? The legend of Atlantis lives on, a timeless tale of hope, pride, and the eternal quest for meaning. Dear viewers, please engage with us by leaving objective feedback in the comments and suggesting topics you'd like to learn more about. And, of course, show your support by subscribing to the channel. Have an amazing day.